Hello, everyone. How are you doing on this wonderful, wonderful, what is it, Sunday? I don't know. I've been at work. I'm tired. I had to go to a birthday party. It was a crazy, crazy time. But I made it back in time, and we're going to talk about mistakes. You've made mistakes. I've made mistakes. We all make mistakes. That's like, what do you say? Like 30% of this hobby is mistakes. So we're going to talk about mistakes, and I thought who better to talk about mistakes with than my good friend Joey Mullen from the King of DIY. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop him in. He loves that. I'm sure he's cracking up. What do you think of that, Joey? How you
If
doing?
there's anybody that knows mistakes, something about mistakes,
Have you made
Joey.
any mistakes, Joey?
The titles just do well, okay?
I thought it was appropriate. I
No,
try.
that whole mistake craze and people making videos about that really started like a long time ago. I was hired up for a video one time, and I was just going to move some red hook silver dollars out of the 375 gallon that had an arowana in it.
Mhm.
They just weren't getting along. I mean, compatibility issues is incredibly common in the hobby, but I decided I'll make a whole video out of it. Because again, I was stuck for ideas. Anyways, good thumbnail, good title, and that video went nuts. I think it did like 500,000 or a million views or something. Then it really opened my eyes. Like, oh, people like to hear mistakes. So I was like looking for mistakes all the time. So if anything ever happens, I show everything, and those types of videos usually do quite well. Like it's on like it's unfortunate that that's the way things are, because I think a lot of people fish are disappearing and they make videos about it. And I don't know if
Yeah.
it's on purpose or not, but it always sucks to lose a fish, but that type of thing sells on YouTube. So ever since then, common mistakes and those types of video titles really sold on YouTube. And that's when it entered, well, it always has, but that's when it kind of entered the aquarium hobby, where making those types of thumbnails and titles really kind of started to help us evolve and gain more traction and more viewership. It's been a long road, and seeing how things work. Like, you used to be able to just title your videos so easily and exactly what they were about. I still do that, but I have to glorify it so people will click it, because the competition is so deep. But I was telling you this before we went live, like, you're like, you don't really build a whole lot of stuff anymore. And I'm like, I feel like I build probably more, but I just don't film it as much as I used to. And I certainly can't title it the way I used to. Like, so it's a do-it-yourself video, like how to colons, build a filter or something. Now those titles don't get clicked on anymore. The old ones do, because they are in the algorithm, but nobody's really watching them like they did. So I've got to stuff those types of videos in like a bit of a vlog and vlog it out a little bit. Or so I barely ever film that stuff anymore, because it just takes me way too long to film it. 20, 30, 40 hours of filming, building, editing, and then just to put up a video that nobody's really going to watch. I could have just vlogged it, gave it a better thumbnail and title, and had it edited in 20 minutes, and do triple the views. And so
So back
anyways,
to so back to like mistakes though.
yeah.
Your first mistake, like first entered the aquarium hobby. What was the stupid thing? Like, there's like a list of like 5 or 6 stupid things that like you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Which one did you do? Did you do like I just straight put fish in, or did you do the community tank with the wrong fish
I
mixed
think
together?
I mean, I actually had some success with my first aquarium. I never had my first fish die. I never had a lot of fish die, but I did struggle with, because when I got in the hobby, I didn't have a computer. There was no YouTube, nothing like that yet. Um, so I didn't even know what the nitrogen cycle was. And I stress that all the time nowadays. I'm like, the number one thing you need to learn about is the nitrogen cycle. And if you have an understanding, the rest will be remarkably easier. But I had no clue. So my tanks were always uncycled and cloudy, and I couldn't figure out why. So my next mistake started to happen. I would
Mm-hmm.
clean the tank way too much. I'd
Yep.
clean the filters completely out, and I would only focus on mechanical filtration. So I just had sponges and carbon and whatever other marketing thing they sold me at the pet store to clear my water up, and all
Yep.
these chemicals dumping in. Meanwhile, I didn't have a cycled aquarium. Um,
That
but
was probably my first one too, is cleaning
yeah,
too
doing that,
much.
and then And then reading a book that was written 60 years ago where they took the readings of the water in the Amazon, and the pH was so low, and that's what the fish need. So,
Mm.
you know, go into the pet store and they're selling me pH up and pH
Uh-huh.
down, and I'm just all over the place. And the second I stopped caring about what my pH was and stopped messing with my water, I figured if I was a fish, I wouldn't want to keep going up and down. I'd rather consistency, even if it's the wrong pH. Turns out the fish are going to do far better in consistent parameters. But the bonus is that the fish you're buying are probably captive bred in an alkaline pH to begin with. Rarely is anything really bred in acidic water. It's usually in alkaline water, a pH above 7, which is lucky for me because I have hard water, 7.6 pH, 7.8. It's not good for plants, but it's been great for my fish. It's very has a high buffering capacity, so I never have any fluctuations. But that was always a big one for me too, was the pH and messing with my parameters when I just had
Yeah,
to.
I don't mess with any of my water. I have a well, and it comes out of the tap at like 280 TDS. pH is 8.4. That's all. I don't touch it. I don't prime. I don't none of that.
I'm on a well now, but when I was first in the hobby, I didn't know you had to treat your water. And if you have highly chlorinated water, I don't think that it can even kill your fish immediately. I think it takes days. I've been on a well for I don't know, 17 of my 19 years in the hobby, or 18 years in the hobby. But I remember not knowing how to treat, or panicking and thinking that the chlorine is going to kill the fish immediately if I don't dump in whatever dechlorinator I was using, whatever
Right.
brand would have been. But I think a lot of the time, well, the chlorine's obviously gonna burn the gills of the fish, and eventually it's actually a really painful way
Yeah,
to
it takes
go
a
for a
minute.
fish.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's a slow death. It's one of the worst. But newer hobbyists a lot of the times don't know, because they're already investing a ton of money. You'll notice that when new people get into the hobby, they are so surprised at what everything costs. Like, it's all so expensive to them, and I'm like,
Because they think they have to buy
it's
everything.
normal.
Well, they think that they have to buy like a million things. Like
Well,
they tell them you
that's
have
what
to
you're being
buy the
told in the
filter
stores,
and
like, you're gonna
the
need this, your pH up
yeah.
and down, you're gonna need a dechlorinator, and a lot of the things, a lot of the times, you don't need. I think pet stores are getting way and way better, just all around, with giving their advice and knowledge, because people are more educated now. Because, like I said, when I was first getting into the hobby, there was no internet for me. It was out, but there was no such thing as you had to go to the bookstore, or subscribe to a magazine, or go to the library. That's where I was going to get a lot of the aquarium books that I was reading. But
Yeah.
the more I learned the most was just talking to other people that had fish tanks.
Yeah, once I made it into the club, the knowledge got a lot deeper. Like
Yeah,
I
you learn
found out a lot of stuff that is just useless, like
Mhm.
that people just dump money into.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense because it doesn't really help. But yeah, my first mistake was probably the over cleaning thing. I can vividly remember our first community tank in my apartment. My husband would actually take all of the gravel out and rinse it every time we did a water change.
I think that would be fun to even talk about not only our mistakes, but what do we learn from them? How do we do it now? So for cleaning, I think that as experienced hobbyists, we'll probably both do most of the things similar. So your gravel now, you're not taking it out. Your gravel vacuum it, maybe. I actually never do. I don't have to.
I don't gravel
Enough
vac.
circulation
I
in the
grow
tank.
plants.
Yeah. And then cleaning the actual filters, you're not replacing all of your biological media. You rarely need to clean that, but if you are going to clean things, do it in a bucket of tank water.
So
So you
you run a
kill any
big
bacteria.
filter though. You run like one big filter system, or you used to, like
Yeah,
one
now
big
all of
filter
my
system with all
filters.
your
Well,
media.
see, a lot of the changes that happen in my gallery is not just the scapes or the placement of things, but I run through equipment as well. So, which is really expensive for me to keep doing every few months in terms of I just switched out all the filters. I started off with sumps. Then I built some sumps. Then I went to canister filters. We might do hang on the backs next or something, but I want to be able to show, because when I first set the gallery up, I was like, whoa, things out here are getting way too advanced. This isn't relatable anymore at all. Let's use some equipment that people can actually go out and get, or would find like that they would want to use on their tanks instead of, you know, all of these massive filtration systems. But I don't do that with all my tanks. Like my 2000 is not relatable. The 700 is not related. There's tanks that aren't that, but I do run them pretty simply with simple equipment.
Yeah.
But what do you run for? Are you running mostly hang on the backs and internal?
So I was raised in this hobby by Nature Bro, and Nature Bro, LRB Aquatics. He doesn't run any filters, and I used to run hang on the backs on all of my tanks, but now pretty much all of my tanks have not like. Okay, that tank's got no filter. This tank has a hang on the back. The only thing in it is filter floss. This tank has no filter. This tank has no filter. This 55 down here, the big one that has a hang on the back, all it's got is filter floss. The 36 bow front has a hang on the back on it with filter floss in it. And that's like it. I don't run filters. My pond has no filtration on it. It's just plants.
Huh.
It's
Yeah.
all, I use plants. It's all one big happy ecosystem. Like I don't have to, I just make it rain, Joey.
Yeah.
I just make it rain. I do water changes.
Do you
That's
water
all I
changes
do.
and go from there?
Yeah.
What about let's see what else. I took a few little notes. I think quarantine could be pretty easy, but I think that rarely do you ever feel like you needed to, because for the past few years, you know, you haven't had ick or you haven't had internal parasites or any sort of issues. And I've recently had to, I was quarantining fish, and one of the fish ended up having ick 10 days into the tank, which was a little weird, but the temperatures are out there a little cooler in the quarantine tanks. And overnight, it wiped out everything but 3 fish.
Jeez.
And that's the first time that I've ever had anything like that. I don't know, 10
So
years
lack
maybe?
of lengthy quarantine, that's usually a big mistake, or lack of quarantine in general.
Yeah, because the thing is like those were saltwater fish. If I was to move them, if I would have just assumed everybody's fine, like I usually do, like most people do, and they just add it to the tank, looks fine, it's going to be fine. And 95% of the time, 99% of the time, everything's going to be okay. Was that one time where you
Right.
wipe out your whole tank?
Right.
And or you might not wipe everybody out, but it definitely gets harder to treat the fish. You're
So
dealing with a larger volume of water.
I generally only quarantine for my large systems, and my reason for that is even my quarantine tanks are like a 10-gallon tank, right? 10-gallon bare
Yeah.
bottom makes it super easy, whatever.
Yeah.
But my theory in my head ends up being, if it's only a 20-gallon tank that it's going into, if it gets sick, I'm going to have to treat that amount of water anyways. But if I'm going to put it into a 150-gallon tank, I don't want to have to medicate a 150-gallon tank.
No.
Like that's a totally like different amount of money than it's going to cost to treat that thing. But I definitely get lazy when it comes to quarantine, because my biggest mistake always and forever will be impulse buys. I will bring home a fish that I do not have a system set up for, that I do not have a quarantine tank set up for, and end up making a whole bunch of work for myself because I'll see something and fall in love with it. And it usually happens at club meetings and auctions and things like that, where I'm like, oh, well, I'm never going to get this thing at this price ever again, so I got to get it right now.
Yeah.
That's my mistake.
I go in
Impulse
thinking,
buys.
you know, I'm just going to get one fish. And
Yeah, and you come out with a box.
yeah, I got to stop doing that. It's really,
See?
it's really important to like
Plan. Be responsible.
I recently with the salt, it's like I want one of these, one of those, but it would be easier to buy just a lot of the same species of fish, and then you know the odds of you know having something are much smaller. But when I buying one of everything type of deal, that's what I'm gonna definitely commit to stop doing that. Although it's way funner to buy a bunch of fish at once.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently did. It's not going to make it to video, but yeah, I definitely need to calm down on buying a bunch of different species of fish at once, because they all have to go in the same quarantine tank when it's salt. Because I only have one or two of those running.
Mm. I
But
want to do a saltwater tank so bad, but it terrifies me.
oh gosh, it's so it's.
Everybody tells me it's so much easier, but I'm
I
like,
wouldn't say it's so much easier.
I'm gonna mess it up.
I don't think you can. Everything well, technically you can run it as you run your tanks in the back there. The only difference and the only thing that will help is a protein skimmer, but I run my 120 without one. I recently just put an hang on the back on it, but I just put, mix the salt to the salinity level it needs to be. And I do water changes like that. And I rarely need to do them because with salt water, you don't usually stock them as heavily as fresh.
I just want a mantis shrimp. Just one
Set it
mantis
up.
shrimp.
Yeah, do it. Do it in a little 10-gallon tank or, maybe
It
a
scares
5-gallon
me.
or yeah, just
But then I'm gonna get into. Do you see what I did with plants?
yeah.
Can you imagine what I'm gonna do with coral? And
Everybody
you're
says
talking
start
about
with coral.
$800 for something this big. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like that's a different ball game than like, hey, can I have a stem of
And
that
wait till you see how
plant?
much the lights cost.
No, I don't.
And
Dude,
even building one powerful enough to run like reef
I
tank.
watched your stupid video about these AI prime lights and
Yeah.
had to have one. And I bought the thing and it cost me $300 and that's how much light it does.
What is it hanging?
No, because I don't know how to. I don't have time for that.
Okay.
I need to hang it, but
it's probably just too.
yeah, it's just sitting on top of the tank. It's like a spotlight.
Yeah, each one is supposed to do like a 2x2 area. So what is that?
That's a 36-gallon Beaufort.
So like 30.
No, but you know what I love about that light is I use it on my ropefish. I actually take it off of that tank and put it back on the pond when it starts storming outside, and I turn on the lightning simulator.
Oh yeah, no flash.
Yeah, trying to get them to spawn. It hasn't worked yet, but I'm hoping.
The lights, I like them. I haven't switched out those lights yet. I don't think I will. I just enjoy them so much.
It hasn't dimmed or anything. It's pretty fantastic as far as like how much light it puts out. I just don't have the hangy thing or the arm. Whatever.
I've got extra ones. I could send you one or something, or I could just tell Ecotech send you one.
Well, I don't have one.
I haven't talked to them forever. I haven't talked to anybody that's helped with the gallery.
I freaked out when you brought that light out. I was like, oh my god, I have to have it.
AI primes.
Yes, I don't know why.
They're good.
It was because it was this big. Like all the other lights are like this giant. That like now I run LED shop lights, but it was because it was this big.
Do you got it connected to your phone too?
Yeah.
When did you get it?
Like 2-3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Oh, so you have the Wi-Fi version. They recently eliminated that. It's now Bluetooth. I find the Wi-Fi is a little laggy, and I have
super laggy.
I had like 16 of them running off the app, so it was really tough for me to get in, and it would always like disconnect or something like that. Not all the time, but with 16, it was happening every time. Just
I'm sure.
An individual one.
With one, it's laggy, so I'm sure now 16 is crazy.
Yeah, now it's Bluetooth, so there's no lag. It's immediate. Just log in and boop, and it's right there. It's pretty cool, but it's the same price. You'd have to buy it all over again.
Yeah, I'm not doing all that. Not when I figured out I can run $16 shop lights from Walmart and get the same amount of plant growth.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, and better. Like this 50 low boy that you're looking at, this shrimp tank right here. Hello, that one. That's LED shop lights, and I've got red plants, blue. There's pogo stem and hellfire.
It does look good, but I think the only thing that you don't get, which isn't a big deal, is the shimmer.
Well, I've got one of them turned off. There's usually two.
Okay.
And it's pretty. I mean, hang on.
Are they dimmable?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm using those on my quarantine tanks.
Yeah, they work really well.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Okay, let's see if I can put this back up here. Oh no, I can't do it. There we go. Anyways, yeah, LED shop lights from Walmart for the win. But I do love that LED prime. My mom actually bought it for me for Christmas because I made a big stink about it.
I got a video coming out soon. That's
Joey Lucas wants to know if you have any tanks in that room. No, he's got his daughter's stuffies.
This is the spare room. It used to be my daughter's room, but then she wanted my room, so I had to move into the basement. Yeah. Girl, my daughter.
Of course.
No, she wanted the master bedroom, so she did have this. All that's in here is a bed and some of the stuff she left behind, and that's it.
She was
fish.
like,
I do have I have a video coming out that's going to. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try doing like a nano tank with no filter.
Yeah.
and do a natural setup.
Yeah.
Um,
You should do that.
but it's not going to be me doing it. I think it's going to be fun.
What do you mean it's not going to be you doing it? It's
And
going to be
have a guest.
someone else?
Yeah. Begging me for a fish tank, so it's not going to be one of my kids either. There's only
Uh-oh.
one more person it could be, but
Uh-oh. Dirt, sand, Wallstead method, plants, go. Do it. I love it.
Yeah. Could do it.
It'll be adorable.
See what happens.
I love it. What's going on in this chat over here? Everybody's just talking away like crazy and saying hello to each other. I think we had one question from somebody before we started. They wanted to know like where you started in your hobby, where you're at now, and where you plan to go.
So yeah, I got my first tank was a 10-gallon tank, and I put a piranha in it. I had clown puke gravel, so that's a multicolored coarse gravel.
These are the mistakes, Joey. That's where you start. Come
An
on.
internal box filter that I only ran carbon and filter floss in it, and I changed it out every other day. A little skull, a bubbler, a chest that would bubble and open.
Mm-hmm.
No light, no top, and a clip on the back heater. So they used to have these clip-on heaters. That was my
the back heater.
Yeah. I quickly got out of piranhas after about a few months of keeping that one piranha. Got into community fish for maybe a year, and then moved into Oscars, and I really liked Oscars, so I kept them exclusively for like a year or two. And then it just kind of exploded from there. Got more and more tanks. I had like 30-something tanks at one point in a regular house that I was renting, so it was a lot of tanks everywhere.
I feel you.
Where am I going with my hobby?
Where are you going?
What's that?
Where are you going?
Well, I think that for me, I don't have any professional plans. I don't have any necessary. I think one of my favorite parts about being where I'm at now is I no longer have any. There's nothing more to achieve. There's no more goals, which sounds depressing, but it also means like I'm not as stressed as I used to be watching numbers and paying attention and constantly just racking my brain on the analytics and trying to play the algorithm game. Now I have more fun. I film what I want. I just have to try to stay consistent and put the videos out. But the reality to it is the moment I'm no longer having fun making videos, I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't think it's not that I'm old, but like life is too short to just do something for the money or something like that. I love YouTube. I love what I'm doing. And I love my hobby, but the second I don't like it, I'm gonna move on to something else. And so my goals right now for the immediate future is just to continue to enjoy what I'm doing, and try to get as many people into the hobby as I possibly can. That's pretty much it.
What's your favorite fish, Joey?
Oh, like of all time?
I don't know. Just what's your favorite fish?
Probably the Asian arowana. If I could only keep one fish, but if I could keep several, it'd definitely be stingrays. My favorite fish in the gallery right now, I would say
archer fish.
Yeah, they're okay.
No, they're so cool.
They're going to be cool. They're so small right now. They're like the size of a thumb.
They're so cool.
Not your thumbs. I think you're much smaller than mine. But I have a blue-faced angel now. I've had him for a couple months. Nobody's seen it. I did some shuffling around with my saltwater tank. Some fish weren't working out. The rays were eating other fish's heads. But anyways, I got this blue-faced angel. I got a lot of new saltwater fish that are super, super awesome. Obviously, the rays are definitely my favorite of all in the gallery, and that's why they're at the front when I first walk in. But it depends on the day. Every time I walk out there, I'm like, "Ooh, you're my favorite now. Ooh, I really like you instead." But I don't have enough love for everybody at the same time, so only one can be my favorite at a time.
Ropefish.
Kind of like my kids.
All day long. Ropefish today, ropefish tomorrow, ropefish forever. Tiffany White came in with a $4.99 super chat.
Oh, did you see that?
What?
Ropefish. Oh, I saw ropefish the other day. I've seen them before, but I put a video of unboxing fish at my fish store, and they had a bag of ropefish.
They did? Like a whole bag of them?
Yeah.
Why didn't you get them for me? It was not disgusting. It was
I thought
beautiful
they
and
were gonna
majestic.
kill it with fire.
Oh God. Okay, so Tiffany White wants to know: do you have a defining moment in the hobby, something that happened and made a big impression or changed your course? And Dragon, how'd you get into ropefish? I got into ropefish because look how cute they are. No, I used to be into reptiles, and I went like full ridiculous hoarder reptile ridiculousness before my YouTube days. And then I found ropefish and I was like, I'm going to breed these. And then I found out nobody had ever bred them and I was like, I'm going to breed these. I need to document it. I'm going to do some YouTube. And then I ended up working for Lucas and that's a whole nother story. But what was your defining moment, Joey? Did you have a defining moment?
Yeah, I mean, before I started like the vlogging format on my channel, I used to do a lot of cool stuff. It's just that I was only doing do-it-yourself videos, so many cool things never got filmed or shown. But stingrays really changed the course of my hobby forever. And a cool story to note on the stingray is there's a new species of stingray called the Podymoticron bosmani.
Wow.
It was just discovered and scientifically described, I believe, in 2011. And in 2012, I got one of only 30 that were ever imported at the time. And it was the only one to survive out of all of them. They all came in with like this horrible parasitic or fungal type infection where it was like rotting their discs off.
Yeah.
Anyways, I ended up crossing it with a Motoro stingray, and it became the first Bosmani stingray ever bred in captivity.
Wow.
People have gone on to do it after that, but that was definitely pretty cool to be such so passionate about freshwater stingrays to actually get a hold of a newly discovered species that nobody had and then be the first to ever breed in them captivity. Again, these are stories. I posted pictures and stuff on Instagram a while ago, like maybe a couple years ago, but
yeah, people don't see you as much as a breeder as they should. Like, that's not a small feat, and you don't talk about it.
It's all types of rays and you
I'm
know,
not even rays. I'm sure you've bred other fish.
What's that?
I said I'm not even just rays. I'm sure you've bred other fish. People see you as like the builder of tanks, but
a lot of fish. Yeah, breeding discus really ruined the entire process for me. I'm gonna get back into breeding rays, but just for fun, I'm not gonna sell them. I have some buddies I'll give them to or something like that. But I think that yeah, when I was breeding discus, I didn't want to sell any, so I accumulated like 1,000 discus at once. And over the course of the month, I had to start selling them. And
how much does that cost to feed?
Well, I was making my own food, so maybe like $100 a month, something like that.
Jeez.
But I wanted to make sure, like, because discus here, like $100, $150 a piece. And I was like, well, what if I sell them for like $30 or $20? Let's put these fish into the hands of hobbyists locally so they can experience discus. I was doing that, and some of them I was giving them away almost $5 a piece, $10 a piece. What a lot of people were doing were turning around, taking them to the pet store and reselling, or putting them on the buy and sell places, or just completely took advantage of it. And I was like, that's not what this is for. Meanwhile, I have so many people coming over. They're late. They're not showing up. They're canceling, just completely ruining my days. And it went on for an entire month. Once I had all of them sold, the average selling price ended up being about $20, and made $20,000. But it would have been worth it. But I'll never do it again. I don't have the interest anymore. The money wasn't that great. I had to pay taxes on it. And in Canada, and the tax bracket I was in at the time was pretty high. Plus the cost of getting the pairs and feeding and setting up their tanks, and it all, it ended up, I was like pretty much making less than minimum wage doing it. But 20 grand for some fish is for your hobbies.
Yeah, that's not a small number.
No,
I don't breed fish for profit. I breed, what I'm trying to breed, I breed because I want the points, or I want to actually, like with ropefish, I just want to breed ropefish. Like, that's just a thing. But like with the Shodenai puffers that I'm breeding, that's just like a hurdle that I need to overcome. Like, It's the food, man. It's driving me nuts. Anyways, we had a couple other super chats. Somebody said my hair looked awesome. Thanks. I need to re-dye it. It's looking real faded on me. But mohawk, right? How do we feel about this mohawk, Joey?
Oh yeah, well you already showed me that.
Oh yeah, yeah, mohawk. What's up? And then we had another super chat. I think it was a super sticker. I don't know who it was from. Oh, Bob Kaler with the $9.99 super sticker. Thank you, Bob. And then J-Rad Iron Man said, my hair looks awesome. Thanks. I will make it look better. I promise. I just haven't gone and got the hair dye. But whatever.
How long
yeah.
does the hair dye last for? Is it wash out?
It's semi-permanent, but with hair dye, it just always fades eventually, especially when you dye your hair neon ridiculous colors. Because I'm a clown. So...
You should start rapping. I know another
I don't know how to
colored
rap.
hair person that
I don't know how to do that. There's no rap videos on my YouTube channel. Don't go back through and watch any of them.
You did rap before for me.
A couple of times, Joey. It happened a couple of times. There's at least 4 videos. I don't recommend them. It's not good. Joey decided to put one of them on his channel because you know, I've not embarrassed enough in my life as it is.
Yeah,
I just do things. Live your best life, right, Joey? Yeah. If it stops being fun, I'll stop doing it. How about that? Okay, so what else are we talking about? How's the website? The website's all right. If you really are looking for some fish or some plants, I recommend aquaticarts.com. You can use my coupon code. It's oddball15 for 15% off, or oddball10 for 10% off. If you want to, it's up to you. Do what you do. Let's see.
Why are you being so passive with that? You don't want to sound too salesy.
I'm not salesy. Like, that's not my thing.
No, it's up to you. It's okay.
I don't think I was really that passive.
Hey, if you want to support this channel, make sure you check out that website first and use this coupon code, etc., etc.
Yeah, like, I can't force you to do it, but if you're gonna buy like 10 neon tetras anyways, you might as well use my coupon code. Then my boss thinks that like people actually listen to me, which would be great because I got zero clout. I have pink hair and it's a mohawk. There's zero clout.
Well, they'll track your promo code too, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing. Is like if people use my coupon code, then I actually have some kind of pull.
First purchase and then 10% the second.
Right, 10% off of as many as you want. You can use that one as many times.
What is your tax percent there for fish, or like?
Indiana is 7% sales tax.
What is Indiana?
7? Yeah.
Where?
Indiana.
7%. That's
7%. Yeah.
Sales tax. 7%.
Yeah, but on online purchases, I don't think you have to pay sales tax. I don't know. That's not my department. I change water. I am an aquarium technician. I do precision guesswork.
Our sales tax is 15%.
Yeah, and your income tax is like 50. Y'all are crazy up there.
Yeah.
Democracy now. That's all I'm 50%. Saying.
Yeah.
America for life. America forever.
Imagine going to school forever.
You see what you get for your health care? You can go to the doctor whenever you want, but we're taking half your paycheck.
Guess how many times I've gone to the doctor in the past 10 years?
None.
Well, I almost cut my finger off taking a tank apart one time.
Nice.
I had to get reconstructive surgery on it twice. That was free.
That would be nice. That would cost you about, I don't know, $70,000 here.
Well, I guess the 37 years of... Or I don't think.
Right. So, which would you like better? Your $70,000 or your finger back? I don't know. You have to make those kind of decisions in America.
My fingers were worth $70,000 each,
or more. I mean, it depends on which hospital you go to.
$100,000. I cut them all off.
If you want the good hospital, it's going to be like $100,000. Yeah. Welcome to the choices Americans have to make. Like, it's not all games and parties down here. We're deciding between our fingers and our money, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Tax bracket is as high as it goes.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to make that much to get there.
I don't make that much money. So our sales, like our income tax, I think mine's like around 26%, something like that.
Still pretty heavy.
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever. I just want roads. Like, can we just make some roads, protect some borders, whatever it is you do with my money, pay some schools, do some stuff. I don't want to have to worry about it because I got to change like 600 fish tanks worth of water. So somebody else is going to have to worry about that all the time.
120 watching and 62 likes. What is happening, guys?
They'll figure it out. It's real difficult. Sometimes buttons are hard. It's
Give me steps.
don't worry about it. We're not here for the likes. We're just here to hang out. Like, that's how I treat my YouTube channel, which is why algorithms don't bother me, because this is just me being me and hanging out with my friends and talking fish because I'm 100% nerd. And if people want to watch it,
that's exactly why I started. I never made money for like, I don't know how many years, but I was just doing it for fun. I never had an upload schedule, never made videos a certain length, nothing like that. I was just uploading, sharing what I was up to. Before I knew it, things started to pick up. I discovered a community.
Because you had that glorious way of just explaining it in that blue room, how to do things in that blue room, where you were like, welcome, my name's Joey.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back.
Today we're going to build a fish tank in the blue room.
Whenever I'm live, people are like, he doesn't sound like he does in his videos.
It's because he's not 20 anymore and he's not standing in front of a green screen. He's standing in front of a real 2,000-gallon aquarium being himself. There's a little bit of a difference.
Oh, you got J-Rad with a $10 super chat. Wants to know how you control green hair algae. He cut out easy green fert, cut back hours of light, using Eco-Complete, lots of moss, Monte Carlo, and dwarf hairgrass, still cycling, and livestock.
And you've got green hair algae?
He already did everything that we probably would have told him to do.
I would water change that thing like twice a week at like 50% until it was done cycling, and I would load it with plants. Because what's happening is you've got more nutrients in the water than you have things that you want to grow. So the hair algae is growing from the extra nutrients. So if you load plants in there that are going to take up that nutrients, then the hair algae won't have any nutrients to grow. But algae always has the upper hand because it's a single-celled organism versus a multi-celled organism, which is what your plants are. So my recommendation is more plants.
Yeah, just manually remove as much of it as you can as well before your water changes.
Yeah. What does Rachel use for that? She has like a little scrub brush and she like twirls it.
Oh,
that works. Like or like a toothbrush would work too, but like those hard bristle
a bottle scrubber.
Yeah, like a hard bristled bottle scrubber.
Yeah.
Just twirl that sucker around in there.
Yeah.
That'll do it. But thank you for the super chat. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, cutting light hours will work, but there's still that nutrients in there. So when the light comes on, that if the algae is what is there to grow, that's what's going to grow. So you got to put something else in there to grow. Anybody else got any questions in here? No. Oh, $5 super chat from Jay's got more. I have no livestock. Okay, I only have slow growing plants. No, not sucking up nitrates. I have a toothbrush to swirl it up. Yeah, you need like a floater or something. If you've just got like Anubis in there, that's not enough growth. You need like a stem plant, like a vallisneria or some kind of stem plant. Or, I mean, moss is kind of a slow grower. It kind of depends on which moss it is and how much light you have on it. It can grow fast, but it's got to have the right environment. So stem plant, floating plant, something. I don't recommend duckweed, but duckweed would work. Duckweed is a mistake. There's a beginner mistake. Duckweed. Everywhere. You ever had duckweed, Joey?
Yeah, I mean, plants don't live long here. I don't know.
Your pothos looks good.
Well, I mean, there's things that will do okay, but it has everything to do with my level of care and not how I'm taking care of them. It's that I just don't care. I'm not into plants like people want me to be, and I'm trying to force myself to be, but I'm just not into them. I'm such a fish keeper that I'm just as excited about a bare tank with awesome fish as I am with an amazing tank scaped beautifully with amazing fish as well. But I always find like scapes sometimes can complement the fish and or take away from them. But at heart, I'm definitely a fish keeper, so it's difficult for me to want anything else in the tank.
Well, Asian arowana doesn't really tolerate plants.
No, and he's not gonna like plants. He's not gonna want anything in the tank. We could put stuff in there, but they always run the risk of a big fish getting hurt like that. Rays are really happy with nothing in the tank at all. A ray that's hiding is usually scared, sick, something's wrong with it, but and they'll just sometimes rest. But yeah, I'm okay with having bare bottom tanks, which I have in the gallery, and then I have scape tanks. I have minimalistic tanks. I don't have a lot of tanks out there, but I've been definitely enjoying it a lot more than when I had twice as many.
We got J-Rad with another $5 super chat. He said he will never use duckweed. Good man, but thanks for all the tips, and it's super awesome to talk to you too. And it looks like we got Color Guppies said, do you still have any fish on your bucket list, Joey?
Fish on my bucket list?
Do you have a bucket list fish that you haven't kept yet?
One of the fish that comes to my mind right away, that's like a species that I haven't kept, would be, I'd probably want to get my hands on a Chana Barca.
Is that a snakehead?
Yeah.
Oh, I love them.
It's
the blue one?
The Chana Barca is, supposed to be the rare, super expensive. It was just a few years ago here where they were like 4,000 or 5,000 a piece. The prices probably have come down tremendously, but I had the opportunity to buy it before and I didn't. And I've always regretted it. So I always told myself if I ever see another one come up, which I haven't, I'll get it. I'd also like to get another pig-nosed turtle. Funny story about that is I was looking for one a couple of years ago. And this guy said, I could send you one. What's your address? And I gave him my address and I never heard back from him again, like when he was going to ship it, nothing like that.
That's creepy.
Yeah. A few days later, I'm checking my email and he says, tracking says it arrived. So I go outside. There's no box outside. I never saw it. The mailman took it to the back of the house and it was in the snowbank. Opened it up and it was frozen solid, like the water and everything, because it was winter.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was like, bro, you should have told me it was coming.
Froze that turtle.
I had no clue, no idea. And the turtle was only tiny. So it's probably so for the best. So the pig-nosed turtle isn't being bred in captivity that I know of, especially in numbers large enough to sustain the hobby, but which means that, and the pig-nosed turtle is an endangered species, so that meant that the little guy that I was shipped was illegal anyways, and if the government, the CFIA or any wildlife organizations locally found out I had it, they'd take it and destroy it anyway.
Right.
So it was probably for the best. Obviously, the best could have told me he was shipping it, but
yeah, that would have been the best.
Nova Scotia.
All right, so we had another question. What's the biggest mistake fish?
The biggest mistake fish?
Yeah.
I would say like
Chinese algae eater.
No, like the biggest mistake fish that I ever got?
Yeah.
Oh, an alligator gar.
Oh yeah, that's a bad idea. What were you doing?
Horrible idea. It killed a couple of my silver arowanas.
Oh.
It was a rescue too. So local club members were like, they knew I had a big tank at the time. It was only a 240 gallon, but locally that was a big tank at the time.
Right.
And I felt like pressured into rescuing it and taking it in. So I did, and it killed almost everything in the tank. And then in the middle of the night, it flipped out and smashed through the 6 millimeter thick glass lids. And I thought it killed itself. Mind you, this is like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I'm in bed.
The one that ended up in the... Oh, I remember this story. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
This is in my bedroom too, mind you. It's late at night. I'm not going to be messing with a dead fish. I took it, tossed it in a bucket of air. It was just like a pail, and tossed it outside. It was in October, which means in the morning there's going to be frost. I wake up the next morning, getting ready for work. I go outside, and I hear the bucket go bloop bloop. Like the fish was still alive. Took it in, put it in a big Rubbermaid tote of water, and went to work, and ended up being able to rehome it shortly after. But I'll never get another alligator gar. Even though I like them, I I'm that type of guy. Sometimes I hold grudges.
You
Like,
got a grudge against the whole species
yeah,
of fish
alligator
because
hairs are
one fish messed up a night.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, no, Chinese algae eater. Never again. And anything that eats plants. If you eat plants, you're not allowed in my fish room. Like that's just the end of it.
Big cichlids would have a heyday in your
Yeah,
tank.
no,
And that's
there's
what I
no
love. I
cichlids in
love the
here.
bigger
I
fish.
know.
So it's
Waru
tough for me
Joey,
to
yes, I'm aware. I'm aware of your preference.
yeah.
But I
It's
can't.
ironic too because I think the biggest mistake that I've historically made was getting into stingrays in the first place. What a lot of people don't realize is they're going to live for like 20 years, 25 years. It's like one of the longest living aquarium fishes. It's up there, anyways.
So
Um,
are rope fish, by the way.
they live a long time.
25 years.
Yeah, because they have no souls.
You
So
have no soul.
the rays just need big and they need massive tanks, massive filtration, water changes, big food bills. It's all very, very expensive for the next 20 years. Like
Yeah,
it's
because they pee through their skin, don't they?
they what?
They pee through their skin, don't they?
Rays?
Stingrays. Yeah.
No,
And
they
the urine or
regulate their osmotic osmogulatory system is different than that of a saltwater. They have to work harder, so they're constantly releasing urea. They have private parts that
you
they
can use a fancy word for it. They're peeing through their skin.
I don't think they pee through their skin. They have no private part.
Whatever. Agree to
They
disagree.
absorb and balance themselves through their skin.
Mm-hmm.
They absorb water. Oh, they might release water too. I don't know. I guess I never thought of it that way.
Mm. Yeah, it's urea. Like, what do you think urea is?
Pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're constantly doing it though.
Yeah.
Like way more than a saltwater ray.
Yeah,
They
and then
do
you
it
get
for-
in and swim with them.
They what's that?
And then you get in and swim with them.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyways, they produce more ammonia than any fish that I've ever kept.
Because they're always peeing through their skin.
Yeah.
Wow. Joey doesn't like stingrays anymore. You guys heard it here
Because
first.
it's so- I guess I never thought of it. I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah. That's like when people talk about a chicken egg, they're like, you're eating a baby chicken. No, you're not. You're not eating a baby chicken when you eat a chicken egg.
No, it's not a chicken yet.
No.
I think technically it's their period.
That is correct, sir.
I love eggs.
That's exactly through it. Anthony's Fishy Friends with the $2 super chat says, you pee through your skin. It's called sweat. I'm not thinking about it like that.
I don't. Anthony pees through his skin. I don't. I sweat.
I don't do that. I don't sweat. I'm a girl. I glisten.
I don't
There's
sweat.
a difference.
I don't sweat. On the topic of like not having
Peeing through your skin.
yeah, or doing anything like that. Did you hear that Kim Jong-un or whatever his name is from North Korea is in a coma? I just read it like right before this.
No, I didn't hear that, but I'm sure the YouTube
Well, he's
algorithm
known
loves
to
it.
not poo or anything. Did you?
I bet he pees through his skin.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Color Guppies wants to know if you ever traveled to collect fish in the wild.
Oh, so it's fake.
Oh, did you just get fake news?
I don't
Joey
know.
just got fake news.
I would just like, did you know?
Did
I
you
just read
know? I
Give me
read
the
this on
real.
Facebook, and it's a thing. No, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
No, have you ever gone collecting in the wild?
Have I ever gone what?
Fish collecting? Somebody asked if you've ever gone collecting.
Not like in yeah, well, I haven't been collecting. I'm not a huge fan of collecting fish. I don't think I would ever do it. I mean, I'd rather just go observe, maybe swim with them, and study their natural environment as opposed to taking them home with me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not against keeping wild caught fish. I just don't think I'd feel the same with catching it myself. I don't know.
I want to go on a collecting trip, but I don't know that I necessarily want to collect. I just want to see. I want to go to Africa.
Oh, okay.
And see where my rope fish come from.
All right.
But I don't know that I want to take it. Don't start your rope fish rhetoric over there with your nonsense. I'm not going to take it.
What's happening?
I don't know. The bear is here. Yes. Ed says hi, bear. Do we have any other questions? I don't know. I don't see any other questions. Zen Ginger's throwing down my coupon codes, which is awesome. My voice just straight cracked. What else? Yeah, I don't see any other questions. So we got like 10 more minutes here. If you got any other questions, now would be the time because we got about 10 minutes because I can't keep Joey forever and I also have to work tomorrow. There's like 114 people watching. If you want to, maybe hit the like button. That's kind of up to you. I don't try to push people into stuff. J-Rad says, $5 super chat. What about collecting wild, undiscovered species of shrimp? Like freshwater shrimp?
Oh, what about collecting wild, undiscovered species of shrimp?
Yeah.
How
I don't
would
know anything about that.
undiscovered? Would you want to name a fish? What would you name if you found a new rope fish? Would you name it based on its appearance or based on what you want it to be called?
Based on what I want it to be called.
Would you call it something like would you incorporate the name dragon?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. It would definitely be like the Dragon Ninja.
Haley's dragon.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And then I would put an eye on the end so it sounded Latin, which is what Gary Lang did when he named his fish. It's the langy eye rainbow fish. So if you just put an eye on the end of it, it sounds like it's a Latin name. So you just like the dragony eye, the dragon eye. That's what they did with Gary Lang's fish. It's just the langy eye.
Huh. Langy eye.
The rainbow fish he pulled out of Peru and discovered or whatever.
Huh. But in order to name the fish, you have to describe it as well, don't you? You can't
Yes, and it takes forever, and there's a lot of ray counting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Gary's kind of a big deal.
Where are you going with your hobby? What's you're making some changes. You've been making some adjustments. Do you have any like professional ideas or goals or anything like that?
Well, I don't really know professional. I just really want to breed these rope fish, and I want people to live their best life. And I feel like I'm probably going to get into a little bit more. So I'm doing my first talk at my aquarium club, and it's going to be about OCD and oddballs. So how I manage my OCD and anxiety with oddball fish. And I think I'm leaning more towards like a motivational speaker type situation with my hobby. But I really want to breed rope fish. That's like goal number 1. And then like everything else that follows. Because ever since I got that goal, like breed rope fish, right? And I'm like, that's my goal. That's what I'm focused on. Everything that has come with that I've just gone with has just made my life better, made me a better person, introduced me to more people. That's how I met. If I didn't ever fall in love with ropefish, I would have never met you. Because I would have had no reason to.
Oh, so ropefish is the reason you got in the hobby?
Ropefish is the reason I got in the hobby the way I am. Like, I always had a community tank, but I had like a skunk. I had all kinds of reptiles. I had sugar gliders. It was all over the place. Once I focused it in, my life just got a whole lot better. I made actual legitimate friends. I made connections where I got information. I made contacts in Africa that I talked to about ropefish. I got a job doing what I love. I've actually gotten 2 now because I went from working for Lucas to working for Aquatic Arts. Met all of you fun and fine people. Ropefish are the catalyst for like having that goal and being focused.
Fish definitely makes sense because they just look like snakes to me. Well,
yeah,
at first until you take a closer look, but
like underwater snakes.
Yeah, with little flappy fins. You got a super chat from Tiffany.
What does Tiffany say?
Are there 1 or 2 other fish keepers who really helped you or made a big impact? Y'all are both awesome. Heart and celebration funnel thing.
Oh yeah. Very good. I love the explaining of the emojis. Who helped you out, Joey? Who influenced you? And it doesn't have to be a YouTuber. It can just be somebody in the hobby. Like,
I don't think there's going to be a fish YouTuber that people will recognize the name that has actually inspired me. I like lots of them as people, but um, I think that make a big impact. It would be hobbyists that nobody knows, like from clubs or
Yeah, that's me too.
forums and stuff like that. That would definitely be where, and you read things and you join the discussions and stuff. But I was definitely more of a reader and lurker than at first than anything. And there used to be like you develop on forums, you start to develop like some of your favorite posters, like who you look for their posts, you want to read them, etc. It was more like that for me.
Right.
Um, I don't feel like this is gonna be horrible, and I don't care what anybody thinks, but I don't believe that the top tier of aquarium YouTubers should be where they're at, and that includes me. I think
It's
like the
possible.
biggest channels and YouTubers are just like doing whatever works for the algorithm. Yet it's definitely misleading to people looking at numbers. Like you look at me with over 1 million subscribers, and you would assume like, oh, he must know everything. Like that's just not the case. I don't think the size of your channel is an indication of how intelligent you are or your experience or anything like that. But so
Oh, Bob's fixing my whole naming a fish thing. He said when you discover a fish and it's named after you, it's denoted by an I if you're a male, and it's denoted by, for a female, it's denoted by an E at the end of the name. So I guess he didn't get to choose the I. It's just a Latin thing. But who inspired me? So there's like probably three people, and only one of them is it like a YouTuber you're gonna know, and that's Lucas, and that's just because I worked for him for so long, and we kind of have the same style of fish
I
keeping,
was in your
mostly
contract.
because
He's paying you to say that.
yeah, I'm under obligation to
Yeah,
say LRB advice.
he has you on a gag order
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
those things
I
are
get
called. Some
hit
sort
with
of
a
a
stick if
clause.
I don't. It's like it's
He
a
also
long
sends you a
thing.
bonus, a $5 every time you say his name.
Right? No, not even a little bit, not at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we have a similar fish keeping. I'm very nature oriented, and he is as well. So it's good to bounce ideas back and forth. But really, like Regina Spotty, I don't know if you know who that is. She's like a huge person in the club situation. She inspires the crap out of me. She's amazing.
Oh.
And then I don't know a lot. I just get information from all over. Like there's certain people that are just knowledgeable about certain things.
Yeah.
Like that, like you said, like not everybody knows everything. I don't know everything, and not everybody knows everything, but somebody knows a lot about something. Like I
What do you
know a
think is
lot about
better?
ropefish.
What do you think's better when it comes to the hobby? Knowing a little bit about a lot of things or knowing a lot about a couple of things?
I think you can sound smarter if you know a little bit about a lot of things,
Yeah.
but I think it's more valuable when you're talking to people if they know a lot about one thing.
Hmm.
I think you get more valuable information from somebody that's gone super, super deep into one thing, and you're like, oh, wow, you're the crazy this person, right? Like, you're the
Well, that's
crazy
the thing with
stingray
like
person.
when I've met YouTubers and stuff. Look, the general public need to remember that these are filmed and edited videos, perhaps rehearsed, bullet notes, research done before it. Maybe they just read it 5 minutes before they made the video. I'm not talking about you or I, but my videos used to be scripted. And then you meet a lot of them in person, and I'm like, I can't even talk to you about aquariums because I feel like you don't know what you claim to know. So
Yeah.
it's been interesting for me, but it's been something I've known all along. I mean, I've been in the space for 12 years. I've met lots of people. But when it comes to like meeting people in person, last thing I want to do is talk about fish. I can hear you talk about fish all the time. I just like to hang out and have a good time. And I don't think that's going to be happening for a while.
Yeah, I hope it does. I'm really tired of the not doing anything. But like, I'll pretty much talk to anybody, and if you're deep into something, that's the information I want, because I feel like you've done some research, and there's some knowledge I can probably gain. Different people, different things. You
Yeah.
know, I
Do
like to
you
talk. I like to talk whatever you people want to talk about that like makes them open up and be themselves. That's why I like to do live streams, and 90% of my stuff is live streams because I don't want to pretend I'm an educational channel and try to teach everybody things. Just here's what I'm doing, and if you learn something from it, awesome. If not, like, hey, check this out and tell me if I'm doing something wrong, or
What do you
whatever.
think of this? So this thought has, definitely applies to me as well. But so when it comes to like YouTubers making videos and stuff, I've always found that they don't grow as a hobbyist anymore once they become a YouTuber for a number of reasons. A big one is like just focused on making the next video, next video, next video, and they're researching what video to make next as opposed to furthering themselves in the hobby. For example, I'm not teaching anything new. I didn't reinvent the wheel over here. I'm still teaching things that I did 10, 12 years ago. Like my
Mm-hmm.
hobby has always been the same and hasn't progressed. And a lot of it has to do with overexposure. I eat, breathe, sleep, and breathe the hobby. I mean, every waking moment is dedicated to the hobby in some way for me. And making the videos and whatnot. But I feel like because of that, it impacts your learning curve. I think that for me, and me recently changing up the way I make videos is that I've been able to take a step back and get back to learning because this is a hobby that you never stop
Mm-hmm.
learning.
It's
You can't
all
learn
about learning.
everything. It's impossible.
There's
Um,
always something that, like you just said, they just discovered a new stingray or whatever. Like
yeah,
there's always something new because it's the last undiscovered place on our planet.
yeah,
There's the water.
yeah.
It's the only thing we haven't looked
And there's a
at.
lot of water. Do you think? Well, did you see that movie Megalodon? I think it's called.
Yes,
Some of that's pretty like
it's
makes
down
me
there,
wonder
man.
like, is this
It's
real?
down
Is
there,
that something?
dude. It's down there. It's gonna, dude. The only thing that makes me think that like some of that's kind of hokey is that we've never seen a dead one. But if the thing lives for like 10,000 years, of course you haven't seen a dead one. They're all still alive down there,
Yeah.
and we've never been like. Come on, there's some stuff down
Well,
in the Mariana Trench that is
if
just like.
I believe the reason or a huge reason they've never found a full skeleton of like a megalodon that I know of. Um, I'm not sure because I'm not very well versed with this, but
Get me neither.
well, obviously, one, the ocean's far too deep to find the bones. Two, there are no bones in a shark. If the megalodon is a true elasmo branch, it has no bones. So the only thing that we do find is its teeth.
Teeth.
Yeah, everything else over time, even the teeth, and the spines of stingrays, they will all slowly dissolve in water. So I think that has a lot to, I don't know. I'm talking like I'm a
They're down there,
paleontologist. I
Joey.
have no
They're
clue.
down there.
This is me speculating out loud.
They're down there. No, they probably are down there. We don't know what's in the water. That's why I don't swim, because I'm not soup and I don't want to get in the water with what we don't know is in the water. I've also never seen the ocean, but that's okay. All right, so we're at the hour mark. We got one more super chat. It says it's from Whips World. It's $2. It says, with that, what YouTubers do you follow, if any? I'm guessing that's directed at you because I follow a whole bunch of them just because I
I
have nothing
subscribe to
better
a
to do
lot
with my time.
of aquarium channels. Yeah, I support them. If their videos pop my feed, I'll go and like it. I don't make a habit out of watching other videos that are in my niche, though. I discovered a long time ago it was an absolutely horrible idea for me to do that. You keep watching the same person. You start and you make videos yourself. You'll start sounding like them, talking like them, making videos like them, etc. But the big thing for me is like, if you made a video and I see that you made a video, well, now I might not want to make it because I don't want you to think I'm copying you, or
Right.
I don't care what anybody else is doing when it comes to me making videos. I'm going to make what I want to do. If you've made it before, my bad. I certainly didn't know that. I don't need to chase like what other people are doing, like what a lot of unfortunate, like a lot of other bigger channels that have gotten to that size have done. But I check in on people if they need help or anything like that. I'm there, but I don't really watch anyone in the hobby. When it comes to YouTube, I go down the rabbit hole just as much as everybody else. I just clicking around, watching stuff while I'm eating or something, maybe. Or, I like watching some podcasts, listening to them, like Joe Rogan. This might sound cringy, but Logan Paul's podcast, I kind of like that now.
You want to know
little things
something
like
even
that.
more cringy?
What?
I have an eidetic memory for song lyrics, and I made the mistake of watching all of the diss tracks that Logan and Jake Paul did. And so now I know all the lyrics to all of them because I have an
Yeah.
eidetic memory for song lyrics.
Well,
So,
that is fun to follow along with, the back and forth drama stuff. It's
dude, I want
always,
somebody to do a fake beef with me so bad. You know it's all fake. It's all fake beef. I just want somebody, like, let's do some diss tracks. Let's throw some
yeah,
punches.
it'd be fun.
Right? That would be so much fun.
Well, I've never really made a
It's every
response.
day, bro.
It's every day.
It's every
Yeah.
day, bro.
Those
Oh,
are
well.
always fun to follow along with, and I think that's why those videos, because they're not great songs. I mean, some of them are catchy and stuff, but
I don't
it's
know.
just
Going
fun to
broke was
follow
pretty
along with
good.
drama cells.
Got that diss
Funny
track
story.
for.
You know Dustin from Dustin's Fish Tanks?
I do know Dustin from Dustin's Fish Tanks. Do you know Dustin from Dustin's Fish Tanks?
I don't know why I say it like that. But yes. Anyways, when we did a collab years ago. It was like 6 years ago. But he wanted to do beef. He wanted to have drama. He's like, Tupac, Biggie. I was like,
yes.
I wasn't making videos like that. I wasn't even vlogging at that time. My videos were, hi everybody, Joey here again, and welcome back. What was
Blue
this?
background.
I want to start beefing with Dustin. Like, it made no sense to me. I was like, no, that's too far away from my brand right now. How about we just, make a video where, I don't know. Anyway, I had to unlist the video because I lost more subscribers in one day than I had ever at that time. But yeah, we were supposed to do it. He wanted to do it, and nowadays I don't think I'd do it with him, but I'd want to do it with somebody a little. Well, he'd be good at it. He'd be good at selling the idea that there's actual drama.
Yeah, he definitely would.
Yeah.
But if you wanted it to be fake drama, I can rap.
He has with his jokes in the past. He goes a little too far, and he kind of pisses me off. And I'm like,
yeah,
bro, if you upset me, I'm gonna question you in person.
He's not afraid. Dustin's not afraid. Dustin will just do what he wants to do. He's not afraid. He's going 10,000 miles a minute working on Greenhouse 2.0, talking about the lady, and that's all,
Well, recently we were gonna do a boxing match.
Oh my gosh.
And everything ended up happening with COVID.
I was going to say, you're in Canada.
And then George Marvakis wanted to do one. I was like, damn. Everybody wanted me to box Catch 'em All Fishing.
We should do
Zach.
Fish Fam or like Fish Tube Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, I have to remind myself that I'm almost 40. I can't be fighting 18-year-olds.
You're only as old as you feel, Joey.
Yeah, 40.
Yeah, well, grow up. Grow up and go fight that guy in the parking lot.
Go fight that guy in the parking lot.
Goodness gracious. All right, so we're like 10 minutes past the hour, so I'm going to let Joey go. He's going to go plan his fight versus Catch 'em All Fishing. And we're going to wrap this up. You want to plug anything, Joey? You got anything you want to plug? No, yeah. I don't really want to plug anything either, but if you want some fish, maybe check out aquaticarts.com and use my coupon code. Other than that, live your best life, because that's what I'm going to do. That's what Joey's going to do, because he's not playing around, and I'm not playing around anymore. And we're just going to do what we want to do. Right, Joey?
Your outros are horrible.
Yeah, we're just
They're like
do
fine. I don't know what to say.
No, I'm not a very good YouTuber. It's not my fault. I have some shrimp. What do you think about these shrimp? How do you feel about these Neocaridina shrimp over here?
Shrimp were one of the most rewarding aquatic animal I had ever kept. I started off with like 6 or 8. One was buried up, and I put it in a 10-gallon tank with a clump of Java moss. And within, it was like 2-3 months, the entire tank was overrun by Java moss, and I had hundreds of cherry shrimp is what they were. And I absolutely loved it. I decided I'd come up with the idea of I'll take these shrimp and put them in my sump, and they could be filter cleaners. They eventually made it back to the main aquarium where the rays ate all of them.
Oh, nice.
Experience
Very nice. Mistakes, Anyways, on that note, that's how
Yeah,
mistakes are made, people.
leave it
Keep
up to
living your
Joey.
best life and
Another
keep fish
mistake.
because we do things and sometimes it doesn't work and
Yeah.
we're all human. So, anyways, all right. Thanks for being on my stream, Joey. Thanks for hanging out. I'll
All right.
talk to y'all later.
See you.
Be good. Love ya.